telling you about the rule 80-20. The simple rule, if you use in your life, it can really definitely change your life. This is the third lecture in this year. It is 2020 on the productivity secrets for best doctors. On the New Year's, I talked to you how to bring a work-life balance by explaining it through 9-bucket theory. Then on the last month, I talked on 70-20-10 rule by telling you on the 4-burner theory. And today I'm going to talk about 80-20 rule. Next one. All of us have a very limited time. We need to make the best of it. If you keep waiting for the magic time to come, it will never come. हमारी सारी ख्वाहिश पूरी हो जाए, ये कभी नहीं होगा. नहीं तो हम लोग सब चांद में अपनी कॉटेज बना के रहते. Next one. What is the problems of we doctors? Lately, we get involved ourselves in a social media. It takes about 30% of our quality time, which we should be spending somewhere else. We are not good in time management. And goes without saying that we are too busy. Another thing is, we have so many work and we do not know how to prioritize. Multitasking has become compulsion for us, and we work overtime. We feel that deficit in money we can compensate by putting more and more and more hours. That's never done. Next one. This great gentleman said, prioritizing makes big difference. The difference between the successful person and a very, very successful person is only one. The very successful person has learned to say big no. They do a focused work. Next one. Coming to this particular principle, Pareto principle. This gentleman was an Italian farmer. He found out कि उसके मटर के खेत में ये 20% पॉज से ही 80% पीस निकलती हैं उसकी. And then he said, for any event it works. Roughly 80% of our result comes from 20% of our effort. I repeat again. 80% of the result occurs from the 20% of the effort, and the rest, that is last 20%, result is seen from 80% of our effort. So keep doing overtime. It is not going to work. Next one. This principle works in everything in life. Next one. Now it works. See a village. See any state. 20% men own 80% of the land. 20% drivers are responsible for 80% of the accidents. Next one. Very interestingly, 20% of our dresses we wear 80% of our times. Isn't it true? Yes. 20% of the land produces 80% of the grains. And all these actors and actresses, only 20% take the limelight. I can go on and on. Next one. I will take an example of myself. If I have 10 skills, it's only the 2 skills which is going to give me happiness, the money which I earn, and relationship bliss. Now I'm going to just explain it in a couple of more slides. Next one. Now it is very important. What are this 20% effort which brings about 80% results? It can be different for Sharda Jain. It can be different from Rupam. So each one of us have to sit down in a very quiet hours कि हमारे वो क्या खासियत है मेरी में जो मुझको 80% रेवेन्यू देती है, क्या चीज देती है. It has to be different for everybody. And also at the same time, what is not important, that 80% of time, why are we whiling away time? So it is very important. This was in terms of effort. The same applies to this most important task. What we need to do, my friend Dr. Lakshmi has many times talked to you about time management, and this is what it is important is. What are your most important tasks that you should try to do in those vital 20% of your time? The trivial things can be worked out. The 80% time which you have. Next one. Now, when it comes to business, those people will tell you that in a shop, it's only 20% of customers will give you 80% of money. The same with any deals which are there in negotiation. It's only the 20% deals which materialize. Next one. So when it comes to we human beings, we must be very clear about this particular fundamental to transform the time use which we have to have the biggest revenue, work for 2 hours or 3 hours and take it easy for the rest of the time. Same with me, there's no point having hundreds of friends where nobody comes for you. And the same works out for happiness. Next one. What I've realized, it is not the time. You have to manage the energy, not the time. Next one. 50 years back, this gentleman, Nathan, first described what is the sleep cycle. We all sleep for 8 hours, and when you see in the morning the health monitor, it shows the sleep had been good for 2.5 hours. So the sleep cycle is you have a light sleep, then you have deep sleep, and then a light sleep. And the same thing works in the daytime also. And that's called ultradian rhythm. You got to have a 90 minutes activity and 20 minutes has to be rest period. You can see here that continuously you cannot work. It has to be 90 with 20 minutes gap. Next one. All these musicians, जिनका रियाज का time है वो early hours of morning है. And they have realized, you ask any violin player, that they have 3 sessions maximum in a daytime of 90 minutes each. Not more than that. Next one. People who know me, all my difficult surgeries, I line up in early hours of morning. This gives me, those difficult cases gives me maximum money. And I have the best of energy at that time. Next one. So, for your happiness, for the money, for your relationship, find your 20% effort and the skills which is going to bring 80% of income. Please see to it, you're checking your emails, WhatsApp, should only after the most important task which you have. Learn to say no and don't work overtime. Next one. I'm going to talk next time how to become morning person. Wake up early to become more and more successful. Thank you very much.